Welcome back, everyone. LanceScurv here. I'm going to apologize ahead of time for my voice. I'm definitely coming down with a cold, so I will not sound the way I usually sound. I may have to delete a couple of coughs, a couple of sneezes, but that's okay. I'm feeling great otherwise. And this will be audio only, and it may not be long, so I can get my rest, but I had to put some thoughts out there in a freestyle, random thought kind of way. First of all, I want to say that I'm very happy and content where I am right now in life. And what I mean by that is that I said this, I believe, maybe the night before or 2 nights ago, that where we are now, if we have progressed, large or small, where we are now in life, we prayed for that. I don't mean in a religious way, but in a focus, uh, drive, ascension, hard work kind of thing. And a lot of times we don't appreciate where we are because we're looking ahead to the future. And we look at what we have, and I don't mean again material possessions, but the status we have or the comfort level, which can be dangerous now on another subject, another topic. But the life you've created for yourself, pretty much, even when you get to where you want to go, there's always something else. And all I'm saying is that let's try for a little while to look at where we are, if we are where we want to be, and appreciate that. So today, I went down into the city. I went down into Accra, and I had to get a few things. And just coming back home, it hit me that the life I'm living now is something that I worked hard to achieve, Mrs. Scurv and I. And I'm going to enjoy it with no apologies. And on the physical level, and I was just talking to her about that the construction of this home makes my heart ache, meaning that the ache that I had in my heart when I was younger, growing up, it was a pleasant ache. It was a love ache. It was a happy ache. It was like there was no place else in the world for me that I'd want to be. And there are many people that I have talked to over the years that lots of times say, I want to move. I want to leave. I don't like this house. I want to go. I don't like this. I don't like that. Well, you know what? Look within yourself and create where you are. Right where you are. I've always been that way, but I manifested this way of seeing things many years ago, but I manifested it here and now in Ghana. And when it came time to do the actual blueprint of the house, to sketch it out, because I sketched it out myself, Mrs. Scurv and I laid in the bed years ago, and the architect was like, well, listen, I want to see what you want for your floor plans. I said, okay. And he told me, well, I'm leaving out of town. I need this before 30 minutes is up. I said, no problem. Wouldn't you believe, I laid down in the bed, the both of us, and I had a pad and a pencil, and I sketched out all 3 floors. The stairwells, the balconies, everything. I had it in my head. Pop, 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 pop. And it wasn't something we guessed, because I felt it years ago that if and when I build my dream home, it's not going to be exactly like this. The feel is what I was going after. Because anybody can put a big room and rooms to the side. The generic thing, nah. I don't know why I'm talking about this, but I just want to say that that's part of my good feeling and that happy ache that I have in my heart, even though I have a cold and my voice is jacked up right now. But just bear with me. But that's to say that you create your reality from within. So, one of the things that I always knew was that every place I went and I really liked a part of that place, it could have been a restaurant, it could have been, I don't go to nightclubs, but I used to do bouncing in them. And it might be a nightclub that had a certain corner that was intimate. All of the places I ever been that stuck with me, that made me say, oh, I just love it here, right? I incorporated that into our home. And there's not one spot here, even the staircase, right? Every level of the staircase, I could sit on each step and feel good about it. Every room, every nook, every cranny, there's so much to offer, not just a big living room, rooms, and that's it. The traffic flow, everything. So now, I don't want to really be anywhere else. When I go out, even though after living here almost 6 years, well, actually, next month will make 6 years. Ain't that something? Less than a month. September 16th. It's August 19th now. And that was 2020. And we've come a long way. We've overcome a lot of obstacles and betrayals and different things, but that makes it sweeter. But now at this point, when I'm out, I can't wait to get back in. This is my base. I love it. Every corner of this place satisfies me. I could never get bored here. Now, that is to speak on creating your reality. I know a young lady who lives in a studio apartment, and that's her dream home. You see what I mean? It's not about size. It's about the spirit there. It's about how it resonates with you. And for me, I wanted to have every spot, every room just make me feel good. Like, wow, look at the angle here. Look at this. And it's a beautiful thing. But understand where you are and understand that you will have obstacles, that it'll make life sweeter for you. See, you have to, and that's my private saying, you have to taste sour in order to appreciate what's sweet. That's my own personal saying. If you hear it anywhere else, tell them you know who made it up. I remember telling my older brother that years ago, and he never forgot it, even though I haven't seen him in years. But the reality now, this is not it. Okay, let's go deep. And I was in a conversation with my dear sister, and we brought up these concepts, and I'm going to verbally plagiarize where she left off, and I'm going to continue it on. Well, she was basically saying how now, let's just take, for example, in 2026, those of us who can look back that far, right? Who can look back to the 60s, look back to the 70s, look back to the 80s and 90s. And even if you're younger, you can look back to a certain period of time. But the older you get, you can look back further. And so it's easy to put the different parts of your life into its proper place because you can now compartmentalize it. You now have enough distance between the then and the now to really look at it and put it in its proper place. You may have felt that you were going through torture in those times, and you very well may have been going through torture or trauma or whatever, but you can put it in this place now, and hopefully you're in a better place. That's the wonderful thing about it. But when you're in it, it's your whole world. So if you're going through something now, it's your whole world, but understand that it will be the past. And you have the power to create your own reality. Now, there are people out here who sabotage themselves. They don't break old habits, confrontational, uh, prone to fighting, stupid mistakes, not doing their own homework within, to sharpen their blade, to cut through life easier, like a hot knife through butter. As we get older, life should get easier. Not because the obstacles won't be there, but because we'll have more control over ourselves when we do the work on ourselves to put life in its proper perspective. Because this is a journey. One day I'm not going to be here. I will be at the next level, as so many of us will go on. All of us will, right? 100 years from now, quite possibly I won't be here. And if you got a decade or two on you, unless you live to 120, 130 or more, I don't care if you live to 1,000, right? Time is going to go on, that artificial construct on this level. This is a pit stop to eternity. There is an eternity, and we'll be more in the eternity than we will be on this earth. So this is why, for me, there are things that I want to strive for, little things decorating and fixing up for me to enjoy on my earthly ride. But this is part of the journey. Enjoy it. Be content with what you have. Strive for more that will bring joy to your heart. You don't have to strive for more to impress anybody who doesn't care about you. You see what I mean? Like, I'm done with that. And I've never really been into that anyway. I've never been one to try to do anything to impress anybody because of any low self-esteem. I've been blessed with confidence and high self-esteem. I can have rags on and still feel not high about myself, but balanced and good. So I could never be attacked that way. And I guess that's what pissed off a lot of people who see that you can't penetrate that. My parents built me up too well to understand life to that point. And of course, I've made misjudgments, and I can't say mistakes. Those were learning experiences, right? So understand that you're not a failure if you find yourself in a place that you don't want to be. Understand that there's nothing out there that has the power to stop you from reaching that inner ache of the heart of happiness. It's been a long time. I've had lots of happy moments, but my childhood really, really gave me a base template to understand what that feeling was like. And of course, we get older, we work, we do overtime, we have families, raise children, and sometimes we get out of focus. Sometimes we get into relationships and marriages that were reactionary, or we with what we knew about life, we thought that was a good pick, a good choice, but maybe it wasn't. It's okay. You're not a failure, right? You continue to move on. Life is movement. Anything that doesn't move, I have to say, is dead. It has no life. You have to keep moving. That's where you find life. See? And the answer is not looking outward all the time. Of course, we have to live in the world, but it doesn't mean that we're sitting here with ourselves with the brilliant minds that I have and you have for your life, I have for my life, and whoever's listening. You have a brilliant mind. You know what you like. And if you don't know, explore to see what it is that you like. Take care of yourself. Take care of your health. Look at me saying take care of your health, but I got a cold. But this was not my doing, put it that way. But take care of yourself. Treat yourself. You don't have to save the world. You don't have to save everybody. I realize how many people I know, and even some I don't know but I know of, they're so stubborn. They don't want to go to the next level to understand that the very thing they're beating their head over the wall with, trying to bend reality, they need to flow. A lot of people are lying to themselves about a lot of things. Have that conversation with yourself and be honest with yourself. you'll find that there's a lot of weight that will come up off of you. See, this world will put so much weight on your shoulders. And for most of us, which I've been blessed not to have that situation, but whatever our growing up situation was, childhood, most people had a script handed to them. They knew nothing of the world. But it's like, okay, go to school, come out of school. Some people, some parents, and some people who are raising you will tell you what you're going to do in this life. That's like an arranged marriage where parents and the people in your family pick your mate. You didn't choose them. They pick your mate. And is it any wonder that after a while you're miserable with something that you didn't choose? But we do it to ourselves. We choose things based on popularity or validation for other people in our life and not us. Do you. Do you. Do what you need to do to make you happy. As long as you're not hurting anybody else and as long as you're not hurting yourself. That's the main thing. But I find it where it takes us years before we can shake off, may I say it, those demons of the influence of people, society, social media. No, I'm doing what I want to do when I want to do it. That's the bottom line. There are times I leave out of the house to go down into the city for certain reasons and something says, no, turn around, go back inside, lay down, grab another thing to eat, lay down, enjoy a boxing match on your phone and doze off. So I'm in a zone now most of the time because when I wake up, it's beautiful. When I go to bed, it's beautiful. Sometimes I get up, and you know I got a nice high wall around my property. I'll get up and put my Crocs on and walk out in the yard butt-ass naked because I want to and be free. Too much information, I know. But whatever it is, I mean, as long as you're not hurting yourself, it's called instinct. You know, the animals, we call them animals, you know, we're supposed to be the highest creatures on earth as far as the ability to think and reason, but we don't use those abilities. But one thing the animals have over us as these so-called civilized beings is that they have instincts that they heed. We let our brains and our egos tell us things to do that we shouldn't be doing, instead of submitting to the instinct that when your third eye, your gift of discernment, your gut feeling tells you something, that you need to do it. And it will keep you alive. It'll keep you in a good place. But it's only after time has gone on that you look back and realize, I'm glad I did that. I'm glad I listened to my first mind. Because you can see that when you deal with certain individuals down the road, when you had that gut feeling, you're always right. Because we're given that instinct, and it's never, ever wrong. The other concept that I was thinking about is my present ability to downshift and go a little slower. Not because I'm older. I have just as much drive and passion for everything that I do and will continue to do so. But, you know, when you're in a highway going straight, you can go 80, 90 miles an hour if it's allowed. But then when you hit that exit to get off and there's a slight turn on that exit, you're going to have to either downshift or slow it down long before you get there in anticipation of that turn that will not allow you to stay at 80 miles an hour or you'll fly off the track. So this is how we have to do strategy-wise. You have to know how much you have in your gas tank. This world will continue to take from you. Take. You have to know what's in your gas tank and know when to back off and preserve yourself. Like a fighter who goes 15 rounds. It's 12 rounds now, but the good old days, it was 15 rounds. And so if you have an opponent that's high output, throwing a lot of punches at you, they might be in great shape, but you may not be able to execute that amount of output. So you have to pace yourself and make your shots count. But see, now we're not fighting against an opponent as in a boxing match. We're not even fighting against ourselves, but we have to commandeer ourselves. We have to pilot ourselves. So that's why health is so important. But energy-wise, you got to know when to back off. One of my things is that I never knew how to back off. I would go too crazy with so many things. The joke with me is, oh, Lance, he goes too crazy. I have enjoyed being the last man standing, taking it to the limit. No matter what, I'm going to have the last word. I'm going to have the last victory. I'm still like that. But I learned to take it incrementally. I learned to say, you know what? I did a maximum amount of output today. Let me save my energy that I have remaining and get a good rest and get up. And I'm topped off again, ready with 100%. But never will I drain myself down to 0% energy. See, that's how you stay in the game. Because I've seen many people get into different areas of expertise and they were great at what they did, but they didn't watch over the rest of their life. They might have been a great athlete, but they had a drinking problem. They might have been a great architect, but they had a anger management problem. They were pissed off most of the time and couldn't think to do what they do. And going back to what I was speaking about earlier on, about, planning out the home and everything, one of the reasons why, most people don't know, but I apprenticed under Paul Friedberg and Associates back in 1985 and learned a whole lot about architecture, just hands-on, okay? And I helped to do a lot of those models that you see, like say, for example, you go by, it's a construction site, but they'll have a model or like a part of the building built, and you see inside, and they have this thing. This is what it's going to look like next spring. Well, I made a lot of those models when I worked there, but I understand that I have a three-dimensional outlook on plans and blueprints and stuff. So when I came here, I didn't know the codes of what I just said, hey, this is how I want the layout to be. If you want to nip and tuck it a little bit, maybe 2 feet less here or add 2 feet here, you can do that because of the weight load and weight distribution, which I didn't know how they do it here, but I'm happy with it. I'm very happy with it. But we already know that. But this is going to be the base of my creations now. This is going to be the base of my creative world for the rest of my life. Yeah, I'll go other places and I might purchase other places or build other places. But right now, this is it. And I'm so focused and happy. I was looking at some old videos from my old YouTube channel. I mean, the old YouTube channel. But there was no direction in that. I would just get on there and talk a little bit. And to look back at the older me, 16, 17, 18 years ago, and what I projected, it was like, wow, I was on point that way. But never lose touch with yourself. And too many times we get into relationships and we pour so much into the other person that may not appreciate you, and you lose yourself. You always have to have what it is that you like, and they have to respect that, just the same way that you have to respect what they like. Now, if your likes overlap 95%, that's great, even 75%. But understand you have to indulge yourself in the things that you enjoy, because if you don't, you're going to feel neglected. You're going to feel you're not going to be fulfilled. You're not going to be fulfilled. And at this point, with all that I've ever created, even though a lot of that work was snatched away when they took the big channel down, that's okay. I am me, and I will continue to create and move forward. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job of it. You see what I mean? But the whole external thing, we're looking out like, what's out there? Look, attract what it is that you want. If you're looking for a wife, if you feel a need for a husband at this point in your life, get so elevated in your existence. And yes, you can have that in your mind, but make yourself so good that it comes to you. You see what I mean? Instead of looking outward, you'll look and you look and you look and you, nah, that's not the way to go. And it doesn't mean just as far as finding a mate, but if you want to live somewhere else, or if you want to get a job, which, jobs are hard to come by. Jobs are abusing people. I understand that. But why not become your job? Create your reality. Yes, you might be on a job right now, but while you're on the job, while you're on that plantation, you're thinking about the future, right? Because the future is created now. The future is not created in the future. It's not just going to happen for you out of nowhere. You have to start thinking about that right now. It doesn't have to dominate your thoughts, just like with me now. I'm very happy and content in my reality, living in the country, but having the modern amenities and the freedom and the time to do what it is, to listen to the music I want to listen to get up, and if I want to turn around after 2 hours and go back to sleep, I'll do that. I know soon the New York City in me is going to have it where I go down into Osu or East Legon, probably Osu, and stay out all night and burn out because I want to. Then I'll be pissed off because then I'm going to have to sleep late because I was up all night. But you can do that. And just listen to your instinct. Like even today when I went down, I came back and I got some stuff from the plumbing store, a lot of stuff for the plumber to do some work. It went so smooth. I had it in my mind. I said, I'm going to go down and do this and do that. And I'm going to come back up. And I want to go to a favorite spot that makes a salad, which I can do that at home. But I wanted one of these salads, right? I even bought extra salad dressing, right? I sat there and enjoyed it. And I said, okay, it's time to get up and go back up in the mountains where this plumbing store is and get the stuff that I need. And everything else went smooth. Everything just went so smooth because you're working from the inside out. Don't let the external stuff make your mind go off. You also have to be flexible. You also have to tell yourself what your goals are. Sometimes there's something you want to do today, but an obstacle may happen or come in your path, and you're going to have to do it tomorrow. Have a plan B, C, and D. But don't become bothered. See, the thing is not to be so rigid. I'm very flexible, but I don't waste any minutes. I don't waste any time at all. But I'm very, very, very flexible. Again, the corny story I always tell with the oak tree and the palm tree. The oak tree is so strong, way stronger than the palm tree. But when a hurricane came, the palm tree bent, was flexible, and leaned back when the winds were blowing. 120 miles an hour winds, 130 miles, it had leaned back. That's why you see so many palm trees on the beach or anywhere leaning like that, because they endured a powerful storm. Well, the oak tree is so strong, but it's not flexible, it will snap. So as strong as we can be and have certain strong attributes about our character, about our personality, it doesn't mean you're going to endure the storm. You have to be flexible. You have to bend. You have to realize that there's more roads leading to the destination that you want to go to. If the one road is blocked, you have to understand that there's another way to get there. And it may not be where you get there at the time that you want to get there. It may be where you get there earlier. You don't know. But have it in your mind, create from within, and pray on it. Meaning Pray and Prey. That's your pray, your goal. And the thing is, I feel sorry for people who lie to themselves and say that they want to do something and never do it. They may manifest a piece of it and show you like, oh, I'm doing it. No, you're not doing it. I wish you would to satisfy your soul. But don't try to impress me with the excuses you have for your life. Because decades can fly by, and like they say, The place where you have the most dreams and aspirations is in the graveyard. And unfortunately, that's where many of us, I don't even want to say most of us, but many of us who are wasting this precious thing called time. Like again, I said, time doesn't exist except on this level. When you think about it, when you really think about it on a deeper level. But in this system of feeling that money is everything, like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I just didn't count the money I had in my wallet, because I need to know. Because we're all affected by this system. But I can say that I'm affected less by it because I'm not trying to spend money. I'm trying to live without it. I only reach for it when I really, really need it. I'm not a wealthy man, but I am a wealthy man. Okay, let's squash that. I was saying money before, but I'm wealthy in what I've found new now. The way I live now. Actually, I live way below my means. Because I'm not going to be driven to make these purchases to impress people. No. It pisses me off when I got to go and reach for money. It's like, oh man, I'm still shackled to this world now, ain't I? But you can take your time and ease out of it. And again, it's not how much you make, it's what you don't spend. But this trap called money that many people are doing overtime and pushing it hard, and somebody else prints it like Monopoly money. And somebody else decides the value of it, if it can go up or go down. And people say, well, I got to get ahead. I have to get into stocks. I have to get into this and I have to get into that. And they're reaching because the inner peace is not there. Why can't we attain the inner peace and your navigation through this world that tries to pull on you and get you to play their game? Because you get stressed about this and this bothers you, and it comes around this money thing. When we have everything growing that we need, we just have to go to those places where everything grows. We can't, look, everything that comes to you free, man puts a price on it. All the land out in the world that's not even documented. I heard of a young man who, I forgot where it was, Brazil or somewhere he went, and he attained some land that wasn't even owned or documented by anybody. And the government let him have it. And he started to build something nice. All his food is there, his shelter is there. Who needs money when you completely get out of the system? Did you come out of the womb crying, I need money? We know it takes money to even be born. We understand that. But we get this veil pulled over our vision of life. Because now that's why, this is how some people will just, I got to get that bag, man. I got to get that bag. And a lot of these folks are not happy, put a bullet in their head. And people will envy you for your freedom. For you being free and moving about this earth in a free manner. It brings me the utmost joy to put pen to paper and do a little sketch. It brings me the utmost joy to write an article and put it out there for the love of it. It brings me joy to share thoughts like this. I don't have to have the whole world bowing down. Lance, you're great. Some people think I'm a knucklehead. It's okay. I like to think of myself a little better than that, right? But that's life. You're not going to make everybody happy. Focus on making yourself happy. Focus on submitting to the laws that are put out there that you can see with your own two eyes and your own third eye that the Creator put down, right? Even animals know better. Animals not going to bust down your door and come take your food, but if you have someone on a table out in your yard and you're not out there, they're going to come and snatch it. If you're there, they're going to not look to attack unless it's something vicious that can overpower you. But the peace of mind, like I know tonight, even though I have this cold coming on, I'm going to sleep so good. I know that. And I'm going to wake up so strong with a new day ahead of me and get more accomplished, because the joy in life comes from the inside out. And when you have yourself to yourself and have your mind to yourself, it can't be beat. And many people talk that talk. I understand. They want to be the guru. They want you to come and subscribe to them and, pay for the courses to get your life right. I'm not saying that at all. The simple thing is just to, like I said, clean house of all toxic energies around you. Toxic people, toxic thoughts, and you will have to fast. People fast physically and say, yes, I'm going to clean out my colon and clean out my internal organs. And their mind is just as toxic, full of envy and jealousy for their fellow man or what they may possess. If you're like that, you're just going to walk around this earth envious and jealous all day long, because there's always going to be somebody that has more than you. But very few will have true peace of mind. So many people I see that don't have much on the material level, but they're laughing so hard, enjoying the company of their loved ones. That's where it's at. Being content with themselves, not measuring themselves up against somebody else, comparing. Oh, that's what social media has done to mess up the world. So many people out there are comparing themselves. Why are you doing that? The Creator made you in a very special, unique way. There's nobody out there like you. Even if you were born as a twin or triplets or quadruplets, you all are still unique. You all came out at a different time. If it's seconds apart, you all have your own personality. Physically, you may look good, but you all have your own path in this life. And never feel that you don't have anything to offer. You do. I know I do. I have a lot to offer. And when you find those talents and abilities, embrace them. Take responsibility and work on them. It's a joy to live out your purpose, to know that you pursue the things that were given to you as gifts. And you do it for the love of it. You see, so many people, when I lost the other channel, oh yeah, he's done now. He won't be able to come back now. I was not doing this for a popularity contest. I wasn't doing this for likes and hits and no. I'm sitting here in my beautiful studio that I built, doing what I love. And it brings great joy. It helps with that great happy ache that I have in my heart. That's the only way. So many people have fallen off, or they don't make money, or no, I'm retired. I'd like to make some money. They can make $100 a month off of YouTube, right? And if I don't post, it ain't gonna happen. So am I crying? No. But so many people, like I said, they compare. They compare with everything. But you do have use, but you might feel like you don't. And again, I'm going to have to say my same little story that I always say about the toolbox, right? Other people might be the screwdriver. They're used a lot. They're doing a lot. Other people may be like the hammer. The hammer's used all the time to drive nails in, to pry things out, to knock something, to smash it or whatever. Now, if you're the voltage meter, the little meter that you stick in a socket to see how much power, or if it's a live wire, you don't really use that much. But you got to understand, the hammer can't do what the voltage meter does. The screwdriver can't do what the voltage meter does. So the voltage meter is very unique, but the voltage meter, many of us are like that voltage meter. We don't get acknowledged that much. We're sitting in the toolbox. We're sitting in the Creator's toolbox, feeling as though our time is not coming, or we're not appreciated enough. But understand, when you're called to perform, what you can do, no other tool in the toolbox in this life can do. You are unique. Get into your uniqueness. See, we compare so much off of social media, young and old, that we all want to be like a cookie cutter thing. No, I want to be uniquely me. I always want to be myself. I saw a picture of an old piece of artwork that I did. I think it was back from 1977, 1978. And my government name is Scurvin, LanceScurvX, right? You know, I signed that thing LanceScurv. I've been doing the LanceScurv thing long before the internet came around. I'm not saying that's an alter ego. That's just my pen name. But my name is LanceScurvX. Yeah? I have been me, uniquely me all my life. So you're not going to compete with me and make me envious or whatever, because you can't be me. And I'm damn sure I'm not trying to be you. Be yourself. Cultivate your own garden. Grow your own talents and stop looking sideways because of my abilities. I'm not paying. Look, I acknowledge people who have ability. But if you think you're envious at me and I'm going to watch you back, no, do your thing. Stop watching me. Or you can watch the final presentation of art or writing or these podcast episodes. Sure. But to be in this competition where I'm coming out of myself, you see, a lot of us come out of ourselves. That we're not even acting or performing the way we should do because we're too busy eyeballing everybody else. You give 5 people the same materials to build a house. They really should build it all different according to their desires. But so many people think that it should go the way that they saw somebody else do. I want to do it like that. It's good to get ideas. But some of us are not original. And then when we end up realizing that we're following somebody else's script, life is not satisfying then at all, because you realize you've been lying to yourself. And that's the worst thing you can do. I don't advocate lying to people, but if you had to lie to somebody, lie to people before you lie to yourself. Lie to people before you lie to yourself. Be true to yourself. Have conversations with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Many of us are running away from who we really are. And we're trying to cover it up with somebody else's script, somebody else's facade, somebody else's look, their image, the way they dress, all of that stuff. And most of those people who you see, they're running away from themselves too. Think about it that way. I'm brutally honest. I've always been brutally honest. No matter what. I've always been brutally honest, and it's hurt people's feelings when they really ask for an opinion. And I would never do it in a venomous way. But you know what? I'm brutally honest with myself. When I started bodybuilding and lifting weights, I didn't look like much. When I went into my first competition, I knew I was going into that competition. I wasn't going to get a trophy because I wasn't up to par. But I wanted to measure myself and see. It took me 4 months and several competitions to get my first trophy. I believe that was a 3rd place trophy that I got in a competition called the Eastern Seaboard in April of 1980. Right? First trophy. So happy. I felt like I won. So now I'm locked in. Now I want to get 2nd place. Then I want to get 1st place in my division. Then I want to get 1st place overall. Eventually it came. But I had to be honest with myself when I looked in the mirror. Why didn't I win? Well, you need to be more cut up. You need more size here. You need to be more developed there. So get in the gym and put in the work. Right? Like I said, many of us lie to ourselves about what we're about. Well, yes, I'm doing this. Okay, what's the next step? How do you get to the next step? People want to look like the real thing, and they don't want to get down to nitty gritty and be the real thing. Stop lying to yourself. I'm not lying to myself. I'm honest with myself. I've always been. I don't lie to myself. I respect myself too much to lie to myself. Because now when you lie to yourself, that's the beginning of becoming extremely delusional. And then you get mad when the world doesn't want to believe the falsehoods that you're telling yourself about yourself. That's toxic. And then we try to sell people around us our version of the past, right? Well, I was this world-class tennis player. And listen, I grew up with you. What are you talking about? You went to the neighborhood tennis court like 5 times and played. I think you beat a little kid in a game and now you a championship, whatever. Stop lying to yourself. We live these pseudo lives. But then when you're really not lying to yourself and you're accomplishing things, you also have to keep a lid on it sometime too. Because when you're accomplishing things and there's someone observing you, a monitoring spirit watching you, they get pissed off because you're doing the damn thing from the ground up. No competition, just being yourself. You have to ask yourself, what do you want in this life? First of all, it should be peace of mind. Second of all, what do you want to accomplish? Right? Make sure it's something you want to do. You're not doing this to satisfy anybody else. You're doing it because you want to do it. 10 toes down, putting in the work. It's the process for me. It never ends for me, right? There was no goal in social media where I want to have all these followers. No, it's me. Whatever comes after, fine. I get 1 hit, I get 1,000,000 hits. The 1 hit is just as satisfying. I'm a little different. I'm an old head out here, coming up on 26 years in the game this coming February, right? This is an extension of me. This is not a facade like many people. They put their costumes on, they change their name, and they talk righteous. And when you look back on their life, if you had ever had a chance to see what their life was like before, they may have made money or whatever have you, but life was a mess. A lot of times their life is a lie now. That's why social media is so popular now, because you can, like they said, was it the Army commercial? Be all that you can be. And so we create these profiles, we create these personas. We aim to get this satisfaction of adulation from strangers because we're putting out this righteous thing. Nah, I'm like anybody else. You think I don't fart at night? You think I don't pick my nose sometime? You think I don't have morning breath? I'm a normal person. I'm not lying to anybody, right? I don't worry about the facade, and I damn sure don't worry about it here on social media. You understand? I'm not going to tell you my social security number. I'm not going to tell you how many hairs I have around my balls. I'm not going to tell you that, right? I'm stupid like that. But I'm brutally honest with myself. If I'm going to be brutally honest in the things that I say about the world and the world around me, trust me, I got to be that way with myself first. You see? Just like those drill sergeants in the service when you're in boot camp. The things they tell you to do, they got to be willing to get down and do the same thing. See? As an example. Wow. I got so much more to say. And I'm glad I didn't sneeze as much as I thought I was going to sneeze talking, and the sniffles and everything and the coughing. This was good for me to just talk. I don't know how this is going to be received because I was just talking out my head, on a freestyle. I'm going to do at least a freestyle once a week. Shoot, I might do one tomorrow. I don't know. But at least once a week because that's how it comes, Anyway, much love to you all. LanceScurv out. Give me a few responses. Give me a few things. Ask me a few questions, things to talk about or even in my mind, you know what I mean? Like just jumpstart me off somewhere. And we're going to do more like this. It's very therapeutic, so to say. And if we had more people that we can talk to, not only just that, but if we can really be honest and talk with ourselves, right? Any question you ask about anything symbolic or conceptual, I'll answer it, Other things too, depending on what it is. But just remember, I have no shame. Yeah? So it's been good rapping with you, and thank you for dealing with me tonight. And on to the next one. LanceScurv out. Peace.